Hey everybody, welcome in the beer? Oh shit! Well, welcome in to Beer, Bourbon, and Baseball. I'm your host, Mike Curlin. You can follow me on Twitter at Mike_Curlin. And tonight, of course, it's going to be joined by Mike Simeone, aka SP Streamer. And Mike, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. That's quite the intro that you just had, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. Anything for you, man.
So I have to show you before we start anything. I got this awesome gift today. You're gonna laugh at me. It is a Yoda snow globe, but ready for this? Ready?
That's such a waste of
That's
time.
amazing.
That is so God. Okay. That's what you've been doing. I've been going crazy the last day and a half, 2 days, finishing up, which I'm thankful for. Your draft kit, you had your draft kit done. You had it done, and I was like, "Hey, Mike, do you want some offensive side of things thrown in there?" You're like, "Sure." So I said, "Screw it," went for it, and turned around and put out. I came up short in the outfielders, but I came up with 230 players ranked. Like I did catcher, first, second, third. Short and outfield.
Yeah, you basically just beasted it all week and then put it out there. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I mean, it comes out tomorrow.
Talk about a little bit. I'm excited. Talk about what's in it. It is like a lot of you, man. You did like 90% of it. I just kind of, again, last minute was like, hey, you want some extra help? You're like, sure, why not? Take it. And now you added to it, which I got 16,000 words done, which is, I'll take credit for that. But you did the other like 24,000 that are in this thing.
Yeah, no. I released a draft kit in January, February. And I just felt like, everyone who bought it, I was like, how can I not do an updated one? So it was a little more condensed. It's probably a little more information the last one, but just because we're kind of short on time here, I had months to do that, where this had to do it in basically a couple weeks. So so anyone who bought it already gets it for free. Otherwise, again, just because it was a quick condensed type thing. I mean, if you want to call 70 pages condensed, but I'm just putting it up for $1. There's going to be some other options too, which you guys will see tomorrow. So,
and for those who aren't aware, Mike was obviously busy with getting a snow globe and stuff situated. I decided, because I got some flack. I caught some flack, whatever the word is. And this is actually, I need to fix this, but I created a beer glass for beer, bourbon, and baseball. A nice little Pilsner glass, I believe.
It's about time.
So I had 3 beers behind me, 2 to fill this, 1 to chug, because we're playing a shot in the dark. That's the first thing on the agenda.
Obviously.
I don't have again, didn't buy liquor, don't care, just gonna drink. But let's before we get started with the alcohol stuff, before we start the game, what are you drinking tonight?
Yeah, so I busted out the big guns, which I posted. It's Angel's Envy. It's one of my favorite ryes. It has like a really cool aftertaste that's like spicy. It's pretty unique. And Mike Carter is actually watching right now. Obviously, I'm still doing his little rubric. But yeah, I mean, based on, just the finish, the taste, everything, I gave it a 9.8 out of 12, which actually ranks first so far of the 3 that I've had on these episodes. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's what I'll be drinking.
Well, I can't help myself, and I think the name is fantastic. So this week's going to be featuring Florida Man, because why not? It's made by the same Cigar City brewing company that I've been drinking for the last few weeks. Behind me, I have some more of my go-to Funky Buddha. That's going to fill the Pilsner tonight. This is my go-to of late, and I just can't get enough of it. Plus, obviously, one of our rocks glasses, which those who won, I just got done making all yours. Mike, I have yours and your shirt. Which, speaking of a shirt, because someone mentioned, was it Brent, a good friend of the show, of Bases Loaded and this show. He's talking about the shirt. It's a beer, bourbon, baseball shirt. I sound like I'm in a tunnel right now, but for those who are watching, that's the new shirts I'm obviously in the middle of making. Made one for me. Mike will be having his next week. Sorry, Mike couldn't get it to you in time, but I know you want it. You'll get over it. So with that being said, I guess the proverbial cheers, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
How do you forget our cheers? And then, of course, That's always sounds fantastic. All right. Do you want to go first, since I know I'm going to be chugging this beer probably?
Hell yeah. All right. So we're going to play Shot in the Dark. And this week, Mike wants to stress we're not going to prizes every week. But this week we're going to give, if one of you guess it before us, we're going to give one of my, the SP Streamer draft kits that Mike helped me work on. We're going to give that away for free. So
Are we
yeah,
doing two? Are we doing two for free if they guess yours right and mine?
yeah, we'll do both. That's fine.
All right, cool. Two
And
free draft kits.
I feel like people are loving the shirt, Mike. So I'm gonna have to do a giveaway on that soon too.
We'll
All
figure
right.
that one out.
All right, so I'm gonna go first. For those who don't know how this game is played, we basically give 5 clues. You get one guess after each clue. If you guess it before one of us, then you win the prize. If not, I mean, whatever. If neither of us guess it, we got a drink, or if you guess it before us, we got a drink as well.
We should.
I forgot a shot glass, so if anything, I'll just kind of like down this if I have to.
It's fantastic, but we have to figure it out. Maybe we should change it to every incorrect guess. You got to do like a sip or a shot of something.
No. We'll be literally obliterated.
That'd be fantastic.
All right, let's start this game. All right, so obviously we're gonna start off a little hard. He was ranked 5th in XBA against sliders and curveballs in the chase zone.
In the chase zone?
In the chase zone.
JD Davis.
No. All right, next clue.
Remember, we are delayed, so people might
right. So I always forget. I gotta like reiterate. All right. So first clue was again he was ranked 5th in XBA against sliders and curveballs in the chase zone. Second clue, he had the 12th most hits when facing an off-speed pitch.
12th most hits when facing off-speed pitch?
It's not Austin Riley.
No, the guy can't hit anything but a fastball, I don't think. What was that, 12th? Say that again?
So he had the 12th most hits when facing an off-speed pitch.
12th most hits facing an off-speed pitch. These are tough, man.
They start off hard.
Well, it's not even just that. I should have mentioned that I'm actually really bad at trivia.
All right.
I'm awful at
Me
trivia.
and you both. But anyway. Still waiting for your guess here.
I'm just cracking beers back here. Don't mind me.
Not Merrifield.
12th most hits against off-speed pitches. Ooh. Can we just go big and go Mike Trout?
No. All right. So.
I mean, he hits the ball no matter where it's thrown.
So all right. So clearly this guy can hit basically everything, right?
Yeah.
Third clue. He's a switch hitter.
Oh, Jose Ramirez.
No. And it's not Freddie Freeman either. All
Well,
right. So let's read over the last.
You just said switch hitter, so that changed like everything.
Let's do the last 3. He was ranked 5th in XBA against sliders, curveballs in the chase zone. He had the 12th most hits when facing an off-speed pitch. He is a switch hitter. This might give it away a little bit. It is not Lindor. His ADP in 2019 was 218, but he finished ranked 18th overall.
That should give it away, but I told you I'm getting nervous with the bright lights are on.
Oh, Clay got it.
I was gonna go.
It is Ketel Marte. He is right.
All right.
So Mike's got a drink, and
Chris
gets a draft kit, which he already has.
Maybe we'll just do an extra giveaway then. I haven't even tried this beer yet. This is the Florida Man beer. I decided to chug the Florida Man beer tonight.
My last clue, I didn't know. It was just I said he plays in the NL West.
Oh, that would have been fantastic.
That would have been a little easier. I figured maybe you would get it with the
I would have
he outperformed his ADP ridiculously.
I'm really, really bad at this game. So
well, apparently both are, because neither of us have guessed it yet. Everyone else guesses it before us.
Man, Cigar City makes some fantastic beer. Florida Man, another citrusy beer. They're all kind of similar as far as citrusy goes, but I like it. So I took a little sip just to try it. Now I drink.
There you go. That's cool. I dig it, Chris.
All right. I almost burped in between. That's why I stopped for a second. All right. Oh, man. I hate this.
Right, you really die when you do this.
Chugging beer makes me burp really bad, and I'm off. I'm
right, maybe we shouldn't have you chug in the future.
It's fine. Nah, man, it's part of the game. All right, my turn. So pitcher time.
Okay.
Yours are easier than mine, yours were easier than mine. I apologize. So we're gonna start off hard again. This guy had 3 pitches with positive p-val. Same clue as last week, basically.
Is it? I just discussed someone today. Jeff Smarja.
No.
Oh,
I was almost a smart ass and I was about to take one of your pictures you've been tweeting about, but I decided not to.
I know I looked at some today, so I have 2 in my mind as well.
Oh goodness, that's not fair. All right, so it starts off with 3 pitches with positive p-val. Oh, beer, burping, and baseball. We're back to it. Technically has a 6-pitch mix, but utilizes 4 of them at pretty much 10% or better.
Mike Soroka.
Negative.
Oh, I really thought that was gonna be it. Damn.
Did Mike just hammer an IPA? Dude, you have no idea, Brent. Last week I got called. What's the lineman that did it for the Packers? Was it the Packers?
Oh my gosh.
Your
I
boy,
forget who it was.
Your boy Joe complimented me on that. I could kill a beer, no problem. But the problem is, it gives me really bad indigestion for like 10 minutes afterwards. So I'll be burping for the next 10 minutes.
Might guess Darvish. Is it him?
It is not Darvish.
All right,
so
good.
Let's reiterate real quick. 3 pitches with positive p-val. Technically has 6-pitch mix, but utilizes 4 of them at over 10%. Now this is again.
I know who it is.
It's still gonna get. It's still kind of hard. He had a 0% barrel rate on his curve, slider, and sinker. Most impressive was on the sinker as he threw it over 300 times. That threw you off. I knew it would. I'm so happy it did.
I'm just gonna slow go on my guess. I don't even know if he throws. Is it Greinke?
No. Not Lynn, Mike. Not Lynn.
Oh man.
Had a 0% barrel rate on his curve, slider, and sinker. Most impressive, the sinker. It was the sinker as he threw it over 300 times. Okay, so that was this guess. I'll move on to the last. Not
Maeda? No, that's not him.
I love these guys. I love when they guess though, because it truly helps you out so much.
Morton?
Not Morton either. Nope. Overall, 2.4.
Mike already guessed anyway. He can't guess again. All right, sorry.
Oh, well. Did we reiterate
for that clue? For that clue.
Oh yeah. See, look. Oh, real quick. Braff is over here hanging out with us tonight. Welcome to the show. I hate you. He was talking. This is the idea that he floated to me, so I floated to you, Mike. See, after each incorrect guess, I'd be hammered. I can't handle my liquor anymore.
No, that's brutal.
Okay. Overall,
Jack Flaherty and Verlander. Okay.
No. Verlander was actually the one I was writing up and decided it was way too easy. His things were like.
I'm thinking ridiculous. One more. I have someone else in mind, but
there's 2 more. You have 2 more guesses.
Yeah, no.
Overall, 2.4% barrel rate on the year and induced 67.1% weak contact.
Ryu.
Not?
What?
No.
Oh, come on. What?
I'll give you that he's a starting pitcher. No, I'm kidding. He's I'm gonna have to add probably a 6th clue because these are kind of tough. I wasn't sure. I don't know, dude. I'm really bad. I don't know how tough to go on these things.
Oh man. Really.
So overall, he had a 2.4.
Kyle Hendricks.
All right. How can you guess a 5th one?
No, Maury. I'm telling you people's guesses because you're not looking.
I'm not looking at all. I'm looking at these things. I was gonna say overall 2.4% barrel rate on the year and induced 67.1% weak contact.
Like I'm not thinking of somebody. It's really bothering me. All right.
You have one more guess.
When is this going to get easy?
All right. Well, I'll give you a 6th clue if I need to, because this is where it gets easy. This is where the part it gets easy is because this was limited as he was called up last year and only pitched 57.2 innings in the MLB. So he was a call up last year. That really does. Last one, you got it.
Let's go.
You knew. Come on. Go. 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, I was going to go with my guys because I have the research done for them. You got it on the final one. It is Cefali.
I was not thinking him. He had that many pitches that had a positive p-val. That's baffling.
57.2
But
innings,
yeah, it's such a limited. Yeah, gotcha. Wow, the first one between us two to guess it. Good, I don't have to chug it. And thank God, because I forgot to bring a shot glass and then something to chug. So
I think for fun, you should do it anyway. But I did fill my glass with beer, so I'll be drinking this the rest of the show. It is so good. Funky Buddha is so good. I wasn't a beer guy before we started, but I'm a beer guy now. All right, so let's just get right into the spring training talk then. A call up, you picked a call. Chug your beer. Already, Marty.
That's
call
great.
Up, you picked the call up, chug your beer, Mike. Listen, man, it's the clue that gave it away, though. He knew the answer afterwards, so don't give me a hard time. I already chugged mine. I'm good. I got a whole 2 beers here to finish. Anyway, so spring training stuff. I told you with how busy I've been writing and whatnot, I really didn't do my homework assignment. So I'm gonna let you talk about them, and I'm gonna figure some out on the fly here. There's a couple things I remember. I remember one of them, so I gotta remember. But go ahead, you start.
There he is, Mr. Unprepared. Yeah, so we're just gonna go through some players that we're watching So someone that's intrigued me, I was trying to watch Spring Training 1.0 as well, but especially now because no Mike Leake is Merrill Kelly, and that's just because I've talked about it often. Kelly got some new, had some newfound velocity on his fastball, and when he did, he performed really well, and it was at the end of last year. So I'm really curious this spring training if it kind of goes back to how hard he was throwing. I should have wrote down the miles per hour. I'm looking up as quick as possible as I do this. But yeah, so I mean, again, if he keeps that up, and I mean, now he's definitely in that rotation, and you know, I don't know how far. I haven't seen anything about the Diamondbacks yet. How far they're gonna let their guys go. I could see them still trying to get a 6-man rotation, which will probably hurt him slightly. But I mean, again, I just think he could provide a lot of value, especially because he's probably basically going for free. So he was throwing around 91, 92 most of the year, and then towards the end he was reaching 93 and a little bit above. So if he's throwing 93, gets to 93 in spring training, he's someone I'm definitely going to be grabbing.
Gotcha. There is one guy that I definitely was watching in spring training, and I can't find where. I want to appropriately mention where I found this information. I want to say it was Minding the News, because that sounds like the best place I definitely found information in regards to players. And if those who don't read it, you really should. It's from Jeff Zimmerman over at Fangraphs. And it was from Randall Grichuk. I'm almost positive he was changing or fixing his approach, taking a different approach in spring, kind of being more patient at the plate, and it paid off, at least early on. He only 30 plate appearances in spring training 1.0. But in that 30 plate appearances, he had a triple slash of 320, 433, and 720. And that's his BA, OBP, and slug. Of course, for those who don't know triple slash or aren't familiar. And strikeouts, he had 6 strikeouts to 5 walks. And anybody who knows Grichuk, he doesn't walk that much. He usually doesn't have a 1-to-1 ratio or close to 1-to-1 ratio. And then he put up 3 home runs and 9 RBI. So it looked like, I guess, the more patient the approach, the better the results. And when you put that all together, maybe we were all just a year early, because he was a very popular breakout candidate for drafts last year. I'm thinking maybe we were all a year early.
2 years in a row.
Feels like it. And now he's like free. And now is when you can get him for get him for near nothing. And it looks like the approach was working. I swear I read something about it. This is why I didn't get a chance to do my homework. I came unprepared. But I swear I read he was working with Bichette's dad or something on plate approach. And when you work on plate and plate approach is huge. And somebody like him, if he can be more selective on his pitches and really just pick out the right pitches to hit, he'll see better pitches to hit, and that power and the breakout might come a year later than we expected. And
yeah, I mean, could you imagine if he actually rebounds and does what we think he can do power wise, and then the rest of that lineup? I mean, their young core is just so good there. It's like I feel like in the next 2 years they're going to be a contender pretty often. I mean, depends on their pitching, but
yeah, that pitching. I mean, Nate Pearson.
They got to start developing a little bit. I mean, yeah, but
that's it. I'm saying that's it.
Yeah,
Nate Pearson, and we're banking on it.
Trent Thorne's a beast. Don't worry about it.
Shoemaker.
Sure, yeah. If he could pitch more than like 12 innings, yeah.
And throw anything else besides a split finger or a splitter wherever he throws.
Yeah.
I know there's something like that. Anyway, all right, your next guy.
So I'm gonna go with the fan favorite Max Fried here.
Fan favorite or Curl?
No,
favorite.
Fan favorite.
Yeah.
So no, with him, I just there's not too much to look for, but what I really want to look for is, again, he had that pitch mix change where he brought in that slider more. And I'm just curious to see, I know they kind of toy stuff, but I want to see him throwing it and see if it still looks as effective as it was. Because if it was, then he certainly, in my eyes, is probably going to take the next step. Something I did see that was interesting was he actually had a really high walk rate in spring training 1.0, which is a little worrisome, because sometimes, when you see that, it can mean the player's hurt or something's a little off mechanically. So I would just kind of watch that, make sure that his walk rate is kind of his, what it was last year in spring training. And if he's consistently throwing that slider and still looks great, this way, you're confident that Max Fried will win his Cy Young Award this year.
Well, With that said, Mike, you've made it farther than I did. I had one player off the top of my head ready to talk about.
Dude, this guy.
But with that said, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just curious as far as, I guess, on the offensive side of things, not just the DH situations, but platoons. What players are teams going to be more aggressive with platoons as overall strategy? Teams like the Rays and the Cubs, maybe. Does Schwarber take a hit? Does Brandon Lau take a hit? Guys that I was really big on, I'm kind of afraid of, and I want to see their utilization early on in spring training. And just, I mean, we're not going to see, but the problem is we're not going to see a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of hearsay. They're not playing games every day. And I was reading, I think they can only play 3 games, or can up to 3 games they can schedule during this whole thing. And with that said, it's like there's going to be a lot of limited data to go off of.
Yeah, right.
And that's kind of where it's like it's a bunch of wait and see, hurry up and see. And I wish I had a name, but there's just the problem is there's so many names to watch because you're looking at all these individual situations through a wide scope that there are just so many names to potentially throw out there.
So real quick, Marty says, I went to grade school with Matt Shoemaker and caught his dodgeball and got him out. Just saying. That's actually pretty awesome. I feel like that would be like a great life accomplishment.
Meh. No kidding. That's actually pretty cool. I shared a weight room with JD Martinez. You don't see me bragging about it.
Did you outlift him though?
No, I don't think so. He was a jerk though. He was on varsity when I was on JV. And I shortly quit baseball after that, played a little football, and then I quit both to chase girls and work at Publix. True story. True story, dude.
All right, so what do you think about what Mike's asking us right here? Saying, what do you guys think about playing NFBC this year?
I mean, you and I are in a draft starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that actually.
And it's for money. It's a money draft. It's a DC type draft. So we're still.
Yeah,
it's not a lot. $100 is a lot to some people.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like a main event thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be playing anything expensive. But I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, I still don't mind. It's still fun. I mean, we all enjoy doing it, obviously. So, why the heck not?
Yeah, they didn't refund them. I'm okay with it. I didn't care either way, honestly. I probably would have reinvested. If I got the money back, I probably would have just played more leagues.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely interested in how it's going to turn out as far as like the season as a whole, and I have strategies I want to employ. Strategies that aren't very popular. The whole like high risk, high reward guys is what I'm really into, which I'm not normally into those guys. So that's kind of like the change in my philosophy, and I want to test it out. So, NFBC or not, I'm gonna definitely give it a shot and throw it and do a couple leagues. But NFBC, like I said, we're doing the one, and that might be enough for me. But we'll see. I mean, if players can stay healthy and this kind of goes into the next thing I was thinking about as far as just teams and what I'm watching for in general is how does the MLB and individual teams handle COVID? Like if one player gets it, do they shut down operations and quarantine everybody for 14 days? Do they just quarantine who he was around? Like how do you figure out who he was around? Just because, if he tests positive today, if he played on the field with everybody yesterday, does the whole team shut down for 2 weeks? And how does that affect spring training? How does it affect that single team's outcome? Like,
I mean, it's pretty clear that if it's a small amount of people, MLB is not going to care because we've seen people getting diagnosed already and they just are still moving forward. So I think it'd have to be like a substantial amount of people for them to really, shut stuff down and really get worried about it.
I'm with you.
All right. Go on.
I'll say no. Another thing I'm looking for is where the hell does Yasiel Puig sign? Does he sign? I thought he was going to sign by now. He's not signed. He's supposed to be a Giant right now.
Yeah, I thought he didn't
officially. Cool with him being a Giant. No, I don't think it's official. I don't remember seeing anything official. I think it was like hearsay. He was supposed to, never did. What the hell's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
There's a lot of this. I have no idea. The hands are in the air. And yeah, that's kind of something I'm just like, we're all waiting to see. I have no good answers. I'm really stretching here for some.
Let's touch on Marty's question real quick. What's the best website to host a league this year? I usually do Yahoo, but I'm thinking about switching. I would just say Fantrax. I mean, super customizable. What, you don't like that answer, Carolyn?
No comment. No kidding. Fantrax is probably honestly the best answer as far as customization goes. As far as keeper leagues and dynasty leagues, 100% Fantrax. If it's strictly a redraft, I would probably stick to Yahoo. I've always preferred Yahoo for a redraft, but specifically redraft. Anything else involving any more in-depth type of tinkering, Fantrax is honestly the way to go for baseball.
Yeah. All right, let's get back on track here. So my next player who I want to watch is obviously Dylan Cease. Um, everyone's waiting on that fastball command because his secondary stuff is just really good. His breaking balls are great. He commands them pretty well. They provide a lot of swing and misses. But with his fastball, he was trying to put it high in the zone, which is what you want, but he seemed to have trouble commanding it, and he kept throwing it too high and too up in the zone and was missing often, creating a lot of walks and, just which obviously and he was getting smacked too. So what he started to do and what it looked like he was doing in spring training was putting it low and away, which is okay, but he seemed to have a lot more command on it and was hitting, the edge a lot in spring training. So that could mean a lot and can really work for him. I mean, plus you get Grandal. So I'm just going to be watching his fastball again, seeing if he's still, doing that location low and away, and if he's still hitting the edge pretty consistently with his command. So he's a player I'm going to be looking at.
Well, my next guy, again, it's more of a situation because a lot of these things, player-wise, the only one I really like said the approach thing with Grichuk was very interesting to me, and he should be batting fifth and all that. So he was very intriguing. He's a guy I moved up my ranks. He's a top 72, 73-ish outfielder, which doesn't sound like it's great, but if you look at the names around him, it's actually really solid. But there's two situations I'm watching very closely because there's players I really like, and that's the Padres situation with the DH and the Reds. The Reds have all but pretty much, I think they came out and said Aquino's going to that taxi squad. So with Aquino out, you have Akiyama, Senzel, Castellanos is guaranteed a spot, and Winker might be. So I'm wondering if you have Senzel kind of spelling Akiyama and Winker, who both hit righties better. That could be the situation. Senzel could be more of a fourth outfielder type. Or if Senzel gets the spot and Winker is more of like he would be a strong side of a platoon, but just say Winker's the bench guy.
Well, isn't it going to be Winker and Irvin?
Irvin should be on the bench. It should be Akiyama.
No, but don't they normally play what's it called? Matchups with Irvin and Winker? I think they do.
That was before Castellanos was there, though. And Castellanos, he might be the DH. I don't know. That's another thing. It's a matter of watching. Because Senzel,
Roster Resource has Senzel as DH right now.
They showed Senzel's a transition to center field, but his health concerns.
They have Akiyama at center.
And that's the thing. They signed Akiyama. That's my point. Is it's kind of a mess right now because we don't know what's going to happen. It looks like they made room to by dropping Aquino down. They made room for Senzel. Yeah. I'm just curious to see how it plays out. If they'll kind of play matchups, play around with the lineup a little bit. But if Senzel's guaranteed everyday playing time, I just want to see it first. I want to be kind of certain about it before moving up my ranks because I was really big on Senzel. Then I lost, I lost it. I kind of got over it. Didn't really like him anymore after all the stuff was talking about him kind of being a platoon situation. Add the DH, throw him, and then put Aquino on the taxi squad. It makes it a lot more appealing. And Senzel is like a 5 category, like a high floor type of guy. There's some question about the batting average, but he kind of had batting average as one of his skills in the minors. So I think he's more of I think him and Dylan Carlson are pretty similar as far as profiles go. Like 2020 with a solid batting average type of guy. Mm-hmm. And right now you can get Carlson a little later, but that's just the type of guy I kind of see them both being. And ultimately, I really want to watch that situation unfold. And if Senzel gets DH, that might be better for him. I know Castellanos, and I agree with Marty. Marty mentioned Castellanos is bad defensively. That's why I mentioned Castellanos possibly playing DH, which again opens up Senzel in the field. But maybe they want to keep Senzel healthy, and kind of give him some DH time because obviously the best way to keep him healthy is to keep him out of the field and out of his own way. That's just the reality of it. And that was Brent that mentioned the DH. It doesn't matter. Either way, you get my point. I'm trying to give credit where credit's due. I agree. I know Castellanos isn't great defensively, but I just want to see it first. Oh, and the Padres. Going back to the Padres. Will Myers, DH, sounds great, but I remember them mentioning like Franchi Cordero still kind of going around there, Trent Grisham, Tommy Pham, and then they have they mentioned oh man, it's gonna drive me crazy. His name. I think he's in the minors at the moment. I'll look it up in a second. No, Mateo. They just actually acquired Mateo.
I know. That's
I don't know what the hell's gonna happen there. That's a whole nother wrench into the thing. Like, is it gonna be Mateo at second and maybe Profar not getting the first shot?
Profar, yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do.
it shows Will Myers in left field and Tommy Pham at DH at Ross Resource, which is odd. Josh Naylor is the name that's being floated around as in the running for DH, and he is a DH type. He is a bat first prospect. So I don't know if Will Myers has such a secure hold on that DH / left field spot. I think he does. I think I ultimately I ranked him as if he has it, to be honest. And I will alter my rankings appropriately as needed. But it's still something just worth monitoring. That Josh Naylor is said to have a grasp or at least a chance to be DHing, which could cause issues.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to guess, I would say Myers plays, but I guess we have to see what happens.
Well, there was a report that was in Mining it was in Mining the News. Jeff Zimmerman, fantastic information there.
Yeah. So my next thing is kind of watching two pitchers because I'm curious who's going to win the job, and that's between AJ Puck and Chris Bassett. We actually touched on Bassett a little bit today, and I mean, before Puck got hurt in Spring Training 1.0, Puck was going to kind of take the rotation. He's really lanky and he's a lefty, and when I watched him, I just wasn't too impressed, even though I know people are pretty big on him. But I wouldn't be shocked if they start off with Puck for like 2 or 3 innings and then throwing Bassett for like another 2 or 3 innings, which I think, Bassett kind of shines when he was put in relief for a little bit last year. And I think he could kind of stack up a bunch of wins and could really actually, be somewhat of a value when it comes to fantasy. So I'd just be watching that, kind of seeing what they're going to do with that situation. Or even if Bassett starts, I'd be more than willing to take a shot on him.
It doesn't take much, Marty. That's all I'm going to say, buddy. Marty Tallman with that beer is hitting my card. It doesn't take much, man. But I am drinking it really quick. I got a little more behind me, but it's going to be done soon, and I'm going to be feeling it. It doesn't help when you pregame a little bit. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
Probably shouldn't have started before.
I love how we do these on Tuesday nights, too. It's great.
Well, good thing I don't work a regular job. I work shift work. I don't have to wake up for work.
I do.
Morning. Sucks for you because I can actually enjoy my drinking, which I will take a sip right now. The next situation before I'm gonna talk while I'm drinking.
All right, how about I just go my last guy and then you can just ramble.
I've been rambling, but the Cardinals situation feels like the most obvious. They were talking about Dylan Carlson possibly being down. I'm hearing this rumor. I don't know where I'm hearing it or who's saying it. I don't know if it's a rumor or fact. I haven't read anything about it. But is there a chance that something about 7 days in the minors means that teams will get an extra year of service time on some of these guys? Because if that's the case, players like Nate Pearson might come up right away and shouldn't, like, missing a week as a pitcher is no big deal. Missing a week as a hitter, it's baked into Carlson's price right now. A guy like Carlson would gain a lot of value, but how's that going to affect the DH? I said it. It's a fact. That's what your boy. I trust Ish with everything but my life. So
I trust him with my life still.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure I would. I don't know. If I drink enough, I trust anybody in my life. But that goes to show you, it's just like such an interesting situation because you have Bader, you have O'Neill, you have Fowler, you have who else would be in the way there? I mean, and O'Neill's not even projected to start. They actually have Carlson projected to start over O'Neill. O'Neill can play center field, but Bader's glove is really good. And if it was, I just wish Fowler's contract is what keeps him in. That's the issue. Yeah. Matt Carpenter, I told you I read this somewhere. Matt Carpenter's projected to DH. That's aggravating though, because I can't find where I read that, but he's projected to, I can't speak. He's projected to DH on roster resource, and that gives Tommy Edman everyday third base playing time, which is fantastic. And Tommy Edman's the big winner here. And I put that poll out, and 57% was on Kevin Biggio. 50%, I can't fucking. 57% was wrong. No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I get tipsy quick, but I'll stay tipsy for hours, which means I'm probably drunk.
I can't with you. You're a mess.
You this is your idea, or partially your idea.
This is bad.
Partially your idea.
This was a horrible idea. That's it. We're canceling the show. It's done with.
Buy shirts before you cancel the show. I got a few shirts to sell. Let's sell those shirts. All right, so this is Tipsy Time with Mike. New segment. Anyway.
By the way,
All
when
right.
you send, can you make me like 4 shirts? Thanks.
I'll make
I
you
need them
one.
in like every color.
Well, it's limited colors. It's not that cheap either, buddy. I'm buying them all at like $10 a pop minimum, and they have to make them and hand. Stop it, greedy. Anyway,
All right, as if I can't pay for it. All right, so
oh, because you're rich off my hard work. No, I'm kidding.
no,
Anyway,
all right. So my last guy is another White Sox, and that's Ronaldo Lopez. He too also saw like a little uptick in his velocity the second half of last year. He was still a little erratic though, which is the downside of that. But again, he gets Grandal. Maybe he can pull somewhat of a Giolito, and if if he could do all that, maybe Ronaldo can finally become who we all thought he was.
he's the one I was hoping you'd bring up because that whole same slider throws it 2 different ways, and Grandal noticed it and called it a second pitch. I think it's fantastic. That's awesome. That's a huge, tangible change that I was hoping you'd bring up tonight because I'm really in. And you, oh, sorry, Yancey just commented. Sorry, I'm late, pimps.
Yancey, this is what you missed. I got this awesome Yoda glow that does this. Ready? Wait.
You missed me.
This is what you missed.
All right. Anyway, you missed these
Mike
awesome
hates
shirts.
me right now.
You missed these awesome shirts, Yance. That I made. My wife and I made them. You missed the new beer glass. Can't really see. You can still see beer, bourbon, baseball, beer glass I made. You missed the fact that I've chugged the beer. I was pre-gaming, and it's Tipsy Time with Mike now, buddy. Tipsy Time with Mike. That's the most random merch I've ever seen. I need it. I just made it, dude. I made it because of the show. The show's awesome. It's gonna be around forever, or until Mike says he doesn't.
He definitely means the Yoda glow, but anyway.
No, he talking needs a shirt. Shut up. Anyway, and Mike is slosh. No, I'm not, dude. This is just Tipsy Time with Mike. It's a segment. I need to get tipsy so you can enjoy the Tipsy Time with Mike. Okay, don't ruin it for me, man.
Do you have anyone else you'd like to discuss, or are we moving on to our next segment?
Mike gets 2 miles and suddenly off the rails. Damn right, Yancey. Damn, we need to get you on the show, buddy. You're coming on. We're gonna get you on here.
Maybe he should be our first guest.
Ooh, if you're down, Yancey, just comment yes, you're in.
Yeah, Yancey, you want to come on next week with us?
We're asking you live, buddy.
No pressure. No pressure.
None at all. You can even host it.
Ooh.
We saw what you did with Pollock, and oh my God, he's in.
We've made it, Flynn.
Mike. We've made it.
It's the big times.
That's big time. We saw what you did. At least I can speak for myself. I saw what you did with Fast and Pollock. I loved it. If you want to come on and do something similar, you can feel free, buddy. And the show name has to be Tipsy Time with Mike. It's a segment, Brent. All right. All right. We're off the rails. Let's get back.
We are.
we have about 20 minutes left. Let's jump into
people who are listening to this as a podcast probably want to kill somebody. But anyway,
well, if you actually fast forward it or 1.5 it, you'll get to the point that you want to hear. Strategy, which on my podcast, I just talk strategy a bit, but we're going to do it again because strategy is like the hot topic right now. And Mike, I know we actually were on PitchCon. We talked.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Really?
All right, go.
Well, I actually tangent time with Mike now.
Mike doesn't know movie references. Anyway,
the Hansel. Well, that's the what's it do? The 2 miles.
Zoolander.
Right. Thank you. I knew what you're talking about. I just ignored you. I saw you had a tattoo. I didn't know you had any tattoos, man.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I got 3.
What?
Yeah.
I got 1.
I didn't even know you had 1.
It's right here. Hold on, let me pull my pants.
Wrong one. Because I'm looking at the screen, so it's freaking me out. I got one there.
I got my hair. There you go.
Nah, it's a skull. Typical. I got one on my shoulder and my ribs. Anyway.
Yeah, see,
dude, everyone says that to me. And anytime someone figures out I have a tattoo, they're like blown away for some reason.
It did. SP Streamer is supposed to be clean cut, no tats. God, it's not in your name right now.
Maybe I'll go shirtless for the Yancey podcast.
I won't. I'm an ugly sight. You don't want to see this thing.
I'll have my new beer bourbon baseball shirt. So
well, hopefully it's probably gonna ship tomorrow, Mike. So hopefully you'll have it in time. All right, strategy. Now that, like you said, if I listen to this as a podcast, I apologize. This is why we tell you to come live because we're having a few drinks, we're having a good time. It's an interactive show, and half the stuff you don't see we're talking about, come back and watch the replay. The replay itself is also entertaining, and you get to hang out with me and up and like, oh no clavicle, no. If you're gonna bear all, you gotta bear all, my friend.
No nips. All right. Let's focus here, Mike.
Just point the camera to the clavicle and up like I do. Hashtag no nips. Just so people understand. I just like what I was responding to. All right. Strategy. What's your SP strategy this year, man? We're actually in a mock draft. We're gonna talk about this soon, at least on our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I certainly think the aces become more valuable just because if anyone was to get off some kind of leash, it'd be them right away. But it's tough. You got to really watch these teams because some teams are going to 6-man rotations. Other ones are going to, they've come out saying that they're only going to let their pitchers go 4 innings, like the Braves at first, at least. So you really got to look at that. But that just makes me think, you kind of need to grab at least one elite. And then I would just go with pitchers later on after that and just grab some high upside guys because it sounds like everyone's going to kind of start off a little slow. So you might as well take a shot. And I wouldn't really waste it on those, tier 2 type of pitchers.
Did you say take a shot? Because if I had some, I would. Yancey makes everything better. Dr. Carter is correct, sir. That is a true statement. Yancey is like a walking aura of just like happiness and like positivity.
All right. Mike is officially off the rails right now.
And dude, Yancey doesn't get enough love for how he's just such a positive person. And
I don't even like him.
And then, of course, he comes back with, I genuinely don't understand the Yance love. I don't even like me. That's the Yancey Eaton. Listen, man, in all seriousness, I know you're a humble dude, but you are the unofficial mayor of fantasy baseball. You compliment everyone's work, you support everyone's work, and you make this community you make it what it is. You are fantasy baseball embodied. Like I don't know if that's too much pressure on him.
No, I totally agree. He's awesome, and Yancey, seriously, we'll message you after this, and hopefully you come on next week and do some crazy stuff with us. But Marty brings up kind of what I was talking about. He says I'm going 2 of my first 4 picks with high end SP, and it's very valid. I mean, again, I feel like those pitchers are, definitely going to be off a leash probably to begin with, which is, counting stats wise is going to be a big advantage. So, I'm looking at the same way. And another interesting thing too to look at is I think most teams are going to let their SP1 and 2s go further than other starting pitchers. So those not so flashy pitchers on bad teams like the Royals and stuff, kind of like a Duffy or a Keller, they're probably going to be slightly more valuable just because I feel like they're more likely to go further into games because they are their team's SP1 and 2. Whereas, the back end rotation, they're not going to be able to really let them go that far.
And I don't want to spend too much time on it. We kind of have a little bit of time, I guess, but I'm on the same page as Marty. I typically go 2 out of my first 4 or 5 picks, depends on where I'm picking. If I'm picking in the middle, I'll play the draft a little bit. I'll look at teams behind me and ahead of me, who needs what, and kind of try to play that middle ground. It also depends on depth of league. The deeper the league, like if it's a 15-team league, like Mike and I just did a mock draft for a 15-team league. Of course, I slipped through the first 2 picks. I actually double tapped aces. And ultimately, my team is a huge question mark, which we'll talk about on another podcast probably. But it's a huge question mark in batting average. But so is batting average. Like if there's a stat to punt this year, kind of side note on strategy, batting average would be the stat to punt because it's like the one you can't predict. Team players go on hot streaks all the time, and batting average is so like up and down. And don't get me wrong, there is variance in it, but there are players that are safer for it for sure. And because of that, like I grabbed a couple of those, but I just said screw it. I went all in on this strategy of almost punting batting average, which is the first year. There's no such thing as punting because in a 60-game season, we can see Stanton hit 320. We can see Gallo hit 220. Yeah. We can see Gallo hit 420. We don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy. But back to pitchers. We should get back to pitchers. And I'm with you, though. Ultimately, I want 2 top 25 guys. And that's where I'm at. It's like if I won't reach for one in the first round. It's hard for me to take one in the first round. And then the second round, I'm not a huge I'm not a huge like that. Like I don't want to reach for Flaherty, although I do like him this year. I like him more in short season actually. I like a lot of the guys. Clevenger I would reach for, but I don't want to take those guys. I either want one of the top 5 guys in the second round if they fall, or I'll probably take 2 of like Kershaw, Giolito. Like if I can get those types of guys, Giolito, Morton falls a lot in drafts, and Lance Lynn is my 3. Like if I say I go hitter, pitcher, I might go pitcher, hit Lynn as my SP3 even, and then just pile in hitting, and then fill in the back end of my pitching staff. But yes, I'm very big on 2 out of the first 3, maybe 3 out of the first 5, because I want guys who I believe right away will eat innings. That is such a huge benefit to your teams. It's an underrated aspect. Innings pitched and games played are a commodity.
Yeah.
They are.
You want guys with high pitch counts.
Right off rip, and guys like Lance Lynn, guys like Scherzer, and those types are gonna just do it. They might pitch 80 pitches in game 1, but then after that, it's probably like 95 to 100 in game 2. It's very,
and
very
then
quick.
After that, it's off to the races.
That's why I'm very big on the heavy starting pitching as well. But I'm trying not to do it in the first round. I think a hitter in the first round is still very valuable, and you can't pass on speed in the first and second round. That's why speed is such a crazy commodity, crazy hot commodity. You need to get your speed early in drafts. That's why and this hurts me to say, Mondesi is a second rounder for me this year. I need a drink just to get over that idea. But Mondesi has moved into my second round draft, my ranks, because he is such an elite speed person that he requires that.
All right. Yes. So while you drink real quick, Joe G says 12 team 6x6. I have Flaherty, Montas, Fried, Boyd, and Stroman. What do you think? I actually love that rotation.
Boyd,
Flaherty
I love Boyd
late enough, which is good, but I really like Montas. I mean, we saw the kind of run that he had. Fried, you all know I obviously love him. Boyd, yeah, I mean, I think we saw his floor last year. So, obviously that slider is ridiculous. And Stroman, I feel like he's really undervalued, and ratios are probably going to be really important this year. And that's what Stroman's going to provide you. And that's probably why you need to move Kyle Hendricks up, no matter what Mike tells you. I
hate to admit it, but I've softened on my
all right. But yeah, so I mean, where Stroman's going, it's kind of ridiculous. Actually, someone that we were trying to get more follows recently, George over at Rotoranks, he pointed out like months ago, which was pretty smart, that Stroman literally has similar, stats compared to Hendricks and Soroka. And it's true. And he kind of does it every year. And, I mean, the Mets defense is a little shaky, but he certainly is someone that getting late with those ratios can provide a lot of value this year.
What do you think about Cespedes this year? Speaking of the Mets, you're a Mets fan. Let your Mets bias shine here, buddy. What do you think of Cespedes this year? What do you?
He's someone that I really need to watch spring training. One side of me thinks, who knows, maybe he hits like 10 bombs real quick, just goes crazy and provide a ridiculous amount of value. And the other side thinks, sorry for cursing, but he's a fat piece of shit and probably won't do crap because he's too busy chasing boars and getting, spraining ankles doing that. So I don't know. I go back and forth. I'm hoping, obviously he does well for the Mets, but I think we really need to watch him in spring training and see how he does.
Do you think this hurts JD Davis?
No, I think especially with the DH, he's going to be in every day. Don't move him around a ton.
That's the part that concerned me, because I just think it's hilarious. You got Jed Lowry, and he's been day to day since like March of like.
Oh, Melky, baby! You saw Melky.
I saw that. What the hell are you doing?
I don't know what the hell they're doing. Brody does some wild shit. So I don't know.
No kidding, man.
So Mike, let's talk about
relief. Well, we have relief.
That's what I was gonna say. What about
I just peeked at the time. We have 10 minutes, so let's talk about relief pitchers.
What's your idea? What's your strategy for them?
It's always the same. It hasn't changed, and it has changed a little bit. I lied. It has changed a little bit, because if I can get two of those top 20, 25 SPs, I then grab a high-end closer. And I consider Osuna as a top 3 to 5 closer, depending on who you talk to. I trust his safety. I know Liam Hendricks showed out last year, but I'd rather have Osuna over Liam Hendricks. I know Hader's a top guy. He might get wins and saves, which is very, very valuable. But you have to pair him with Knebel to play it safe. So if you get Hader, you need to reach a little bit on Knebel because, like in our mock, I took Knebel just because I wanted to try to sneak a few saves in there. Cool, no problem. That's my strategy. It's like, all right, cool. So I decided to go with my high end pitcher. So I didn't decide. I slept through it and got him. So I want at least my one closer. But now I'm more willing to go after a Nick Anderson type, a Josh Hader type. But Josh Hader's too expensive for me. So Nick Anderson falls right into my lap. I want a pair. Like this was something I was avoiding before, but I want Nick Anderson and like Diego Castillo and Jose Alvarado. I want 2 out of those 3 because you're getting the saves, probably some wins and great ratios, or what should be great ratios and Ks. That is my strategy with relief pitchers. I want one sure thing in an Osuna, a Chapman, even a Yates, of course, and like one of those guys, and then pair him with a unsure thing, but pair 2, like I said, Nick Anderson or Iglesias because I think Iglesias would be with like a Lorenzen or something, or an Amir Garrett. Like, that I want somebody on a good team, or two guys on a good team that will get me the saves bulk of the time, but provide the ratios and Ks as well, and can sneak in some wins as that multi inning relief guy coming in the 5th, 6th, or 7th inning. That's where my relief strategy's been.
Yeah, so my strategy is I think the elites are important, but I don't think I would only take them when it's appropriate. I wouldn't reach, kind of like Marty's saying. He's saying that he'll start the run. I'm not willing to do that unless they really fall to me in the right spot.
They're getting pushed up right now, though, man.
But I think I know. I think you should need to take a tier 1 or tier 2 if it's appropriate, though. I still don't know if it's worth reaching. But I think you either do that or you just say screw it and you still go with guys late and take your chances on the next up and just hope you get a couple points and saves. Because I mean, technically, you really can punt this year. I really think all you need is a couple points in a category and be strong in the other ones, and you'll do fine, especially in a short season like this, because you probably don't need that many saves or bags or whatever you're punting to, get some points to still give you a shot to win the league. So that's just my opinion. I think, again, if the elites fall to you in the right spot, or you can draft where like you think your team's really solid at that point, you can maybe reach a little, then grab them. Otherwise, just wait, say screw it, and kind of hope for the best. That's my opinion.
No, I'm with you. I don't agree necessarily, but I'm with you. I get it.
Yeah. There's so many ways. You know what the problem is? This season is like this is like the season where everyone can be wrong. We can be completely wrong about everything we've been talking about.
Which is fantastic.
It's nuts.
On that note, buy the draft kit for $1. It's in all seriousness though. But Mike, I honestly I tweeted it out, but I do thank you for just letting me be a part of it. You've built up an awesome following, an awesome name for yourself, and it was just honestly awesome that you let me even tag along for the ride, just because why not? I know you and I work well together and we have a lot of fun, obviously. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, if nobody buys it, then you're not welcome back next year.
Dude, I have like 3 people I know want it, all right?
I'm kidding.
Well, next year's going to be better because these were rushed. Like, I did this to meet your timeline, but next year, I can tell you for a fact, these are going to be way more in depth. I'm going to drop like good, that's not bad, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely going to be more in depth. And there's going to be more from me. If you're willing to, obviously, if we do this again, well, we'll talk about that later.
Anyway,
but overall strategy, you're talking about punting a category. When you say punt, do you mean like completely just like forget about it and hope for the best? Or do you mean like you'll settle for like 6th, 7th place in a roto category type of thing?
That's what I mean. Yeah, you can, or even lower. I mean, you can still, come in. You could afford, I feel like, have one category kind of come in the middle of the pack. And I think you could do that easily without aiming for it. Like, I feel like if you really didn't want to, don't go after bags early. And you get some guys who kind of like trickle them in here and there and get, about 5 steals for the, 60 games or whatever. And that will probably be enough instead of, purposely going after the guys early on who, will be like, in a normal season would be like 20 guys or, 30-20 guys type of thing. But I feel like it just depends. Like I feel like I feel like this season almost lets you adapt more easily. Because if you're falling behind in one category, you can kind of address it later.
What if you're playing in a weekly format where waiver wire is not available, like NFBC, waiver wire, there is no waiver wire, like in Draft Champions. But fine, not
Right.
even waiver wire, but trades. Like if you're playing in a weekly league, you can't just punt categories because it's not like daily. You can kind of play that. Well, let's see what's hot off the waiver wire. I'll pick them up and see what happens. You can't play that. You can't do that in a weekly league. So in a weekly league, I feel like you have to be a little more cognizant of.
Well, I'm not saying to fully forget it. I'm just basically what I'm saying is that if you only get a moderate amount of a category, I don't think it's going to hurt you as much during a long season, because again, I feel like, you know, if you got guys who just trickle in a couple bags over a short season, it's not going to hurt you as much as grabbing those guys when it's a long season. You just fall even further and further and further behind, where you have no shot about where you can like kind of get in the middle of the pack there.
I just wanted to highlight that I got props on using a good word by Yancey. But oh shoot, I just punched my mic. I'm done. I'm out of beer.
We can't let Mike chug anymore.
With that said, tune in next week when I chug too.
That's it. The next week when we play the game, I'm just gonna come up with something that rhymes with the Persian. Oh, the player rhymes with Rami Ram.
My favorite part is gonna be like, you're gonna watch me know the answer and be like, I don't know, just the chug, just so I can chug. But we got 3 minutes, Mike. There's not really much else to talk. Oh, points leagues. Actually, I was curious. I was gonna write about this, but I missed the deadline. And points leagues as a whole, it's funny because I'm like really big on taking pictures, but that's like in categories in Roto. In points leagues, I'm almost willing to pass on pitching at the top and kind of just pile in the Kyle Hendricks types, which again, I'm not a Hendricks guy, but this time I will bend Hendricks or maybe take Greinke as an ace because he falls to where you can get him in the third round. And in a points league, pitchers score the most points, but I'm willing to take a hitter or two in the first 2 rounds, knowing that pitchers are going to take time to ramp up. Are you kind of in that same mindset with points leagues? Because even though we don't recommend it, there are still points leagues being played in a short season.
Yeah, I mean it depends. You know where what's it called? It depends on your league. You know, I have a league where starters are just earn way more points than hitters, so it's a little different. But yeah, I mean, typical points leagues, I feel like I would be waiting on pitchers, especially because I feel like wins are going to be so unpredictable this year. And you obviously most points leagues you get points for wins, so I feel like you can't really chase it that much. But yeah, so I kind of agree. I think I'd rather take a shot on some high strikeout pitchers later on who have that upside, and maybe they get away with a bunch of wins and just develop a really strong lineup.
All right, well, that's gonna do it, guys. We appreciate all of you tuning in. I know your boy Clegg got the draft kit. If he already has it, we'll figure it out.
No, he said he's gonna give it away for me.
Perfect.
He's gonna do a giveaway. Yeah, I'll send it to him. Well, he has it. But yeah, he can just tell me who wins it. I'll send it to them.
Perfect. So follow Chris Clegg at Roto Clegg, which we tried. I tried today so hard to push for 2K.
He got close, didn't he?
I know he's like 50 away. So still follow the guy, and let's get him that 2,000.
Oh no, he's 9 away.
Oh my God! Come on. That's absurd. All right. Well, with that said, by the time
before we go, do you want to see my Yoda globe one more time?
No, but I want to hear one more time about the draft kit, because again, on the way out, promote this draft kit.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it goes up for sale tomorrow, or I guess Wednesday. I don't know when people are listening to this. And yeah, I mean, me and Mike worked pretty hard on it. 70 pages, 40,000 words. You get top 150 starting pitchers, top 50 relief pitchers, top 30 first, second, third, short, top 80 outfielders, and their breakdowns on every single one of those players. So you have over $400. I have over 400 player breakdowns in the draft kit, which is pretty cool. Go over some draft strategy.
The dollar menu. It's on the dollar menu. And if Mike allows me, I will add to it. Like, just so you guys know.
So anyway, can I finish or I mean?
No, that's it.
So there's draft strategy. I obviously go through streaming strategy, especially with this season. It's going to be a little different and weird. How to break down pitching. There's a glossary in it. There's all types of stuff, and it's all going to be for $1. It'll be on the website, or you can Venmo or PayPal me. There's going to be an article up on Wednesday giving you all the details. And there's also going to be another option where if you want to pay $5, me or Mike will give you custom rankings to your league, which is pretty cool. So
header ranks for the low.
So Mike obviously did all the breakdowns for offense. I did all the pitching stuff. And I mean, if you guys want to buy it, go ahead. That'd be really cool. We had a ton of people who bought my last one, so they all got it for free. We've already had several people interested in it. So it's really exciting that people actually care about our opinion, Mike.
Well, your opinion.
Our research.
Like I said, I tagged along and threw my ranks up there. And I know, and just so people are aware, as players drop out or decide to opt out, if players get sick, if injuries happen, we will update the ranks periodically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too. If you do buy it, we are going to do updated ranks probably right before the season starts, because obviously people are going to get hurt, and we're going to find out who's actually playing, all that kind of good stuff. So that's definitely going to happen.
Perfect. And of course, you can find all that on Twitter at Roto not Craig. Well, Roto Nino. Wrong person, dude. I'm talking about freaking George here. All right. Well, with that said, tomorrow you'll drop it at SP Streamer is where you can find it. That's Mike. As always, appreciate you taking part in this. I'm Mike _Curland, aka Mike Curland. Oh, real original. You can follow the show at 3Bs of Baseball. We appreciate all the follows we get there. You can follow all of our other work. Obviously, we have a lot going on. I think that's going to do it, Mike. Any final words?
No, thanks for everyone who came in today. We had a good group of people commenting. It was a lot of fun.
It really was, and the idea is to do this every week. If you get me drunk and we have a good time, that isn't we can have. It's all about having fun, man. Fantasy baseball gives so much to us. Baseball as a whole gives us so much. We want to try to give back, and our way of giving back is through entertainment, free entertainment. We just want to do this for you guys, and we enjoy doing it. So we truly appreciate you supporting it, and we look forward to next week. As always, Yancey will reach out and try to set that up. But until then, guys, we appreciate you listening and watching as always, and we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.